Guys, different season, different reason. Look, everybody that comes into your life, they come in for a reason. Whether you hated them or you have love for them, trust me, they're there for a reason. Just remember, seasons. It is literally the reason why we meet different people. And if you're someone who hasn't met a lot of people and you're in your own bubble, I would encourage you to go out there, to make friends, to fall in love, to have relationships. And because I feel like that's one of the best way of learning more about yourself. There's so much you can learn about you on your own, but when you have the relationship, the friends, the people around you, you get to hear a lot more about you from other people because it shows a lot when the way you treat others. So I know I was upset in the past, that the relationship with my ex finished. I was devastated. I felt like the whole world bloody ended. I was just like, you know what, this is it. I'm done. No more relationship. I don't want to talk to nobody. I want to be single forever. That was the younger Bruno, of course. He was going through some things, and then and he was in love, and then after that, he got his heart broken, and everything became a mystery. It's like, no more. I'm done. But I'm here today, and I want to say that breakup was the best thing that has happened to me. Really, truly. I don't think I would be the man I'm today if it hadn't been for that relationship. If it hadn't been for the struggle, for the lessons, for the love, for everything good that I've learned from it. Different seasons, different reasons. And I think at that season, I definitely needed that person in my life. And through that journey, I've learned so much about me, about different people, about the relationship. And I've learned so much about my behavior, my feelings. Dude, you learn so much. I know it's so easy to look back and say, I hate that person. They made me do this. I dislike this person. I became this way because of that person. We can easily blame people, of course. And a lot of people blame others for their behavior. Whereas others actually, they learn from those lessons and they take accountability for their bullshit and they work on that. A lot of people will come in and say, well, my ex made me feel this way, and therefore 20 years later, 10 years later I should say, I still feel the same way. And that applies to even parents, My parents used to be like this, and therefore I break this habit and I am now like this. So the reason why I'm this loud, the reason why I speak this way, the reason why I do this way, or I do things this way, it's because of my parents, it's because of the way things used to be. Look, my whole point is, it is very easy to blame people. It's easier to blame people, than actually take accountability for yourself and then admit, you know what, that relationship must have been toxic. Yes, I probably shouldn't be there as long as I did, but it is your responsibility to adjust things, to make change, to work on yourself, and not to be in the next relationship and start saying, well, the reason I do this is because my ex used to be a trash or used to be this piece of shit. Look, you're gonna be blaming people for 20 years later. You'll be married with kids and still say oh, my behavior is because of my ex when I was 18. That's crazy. Look, the point I'm trying to make is to embrace, all the people that come into our life for different reasons, right? Different seasons, different reasons. And that is something that we should appreciate. That's something we should be happy for. Something that we should embrace and get the lessons from, because we learn a lot when we are in a relationship, when we have different good friends. You get to learn so much from different people. People will call you out on your bullshit. Rather than you be like, oh, that person is this. Or listen to them. Pay attention to them, to what they're saying, and reflect that. Some of the things they might be saying, it might be true. Some may just be completely garbage. So it's important to be aware of that too. Of course, some people just want to hate on you. They want to just chat shit about you. It's not to say that everything that they say is true, but sometimes, if you hear a few things of yours saying that you are a bit selfish, or that you behave this way, sometimes when you're drunk or when you do this, or whatever the case may be, is for you to reflect and and be able to understand, okay, that is something to work on. That I I used to be told a lot by quite a few people that I can be very nonchalant, and I was like, no, really, that's not me. And then the more I started hearing about it, the more I realized I was full of myself, full of shit, really. I was just all about me. And people talk about their self, I'm just like, I don't give a shit, man. Like, that was just weird. Having understanding that, and I started working on that aspect of things, because that's not how I want it to be. Different seasons, different reasons, and I'm so happy that, all the guys I've met in my life, some of them are still here, some have gone. I don't have hate for them, I only got love for them, but me and them, we don't sit on the same table anymore. I see them outside, yo, what's up, what's good? But that's about it. I don't have nothing against them. Some people are just better off, like they're just better off outside, literally better. You're better off without them. It's so important to recognize that some people are just there for the sake of being there. They're not adding nothing to your life, and you just need to, just not get rid of them like that. But hey, you do your thing, I do my thing. Brother, I haven't got nothing against you, but the type of mentality you have, the way you behave, the things you do, your values in life, they don't align with me. I thought they did when we first met, but it's clear, right now it's clear that we don't align, we don't have the same goals, same mindset, same morals, same values. And for that reason, I step back now. Because some people will be in your life and they're just training you. They're not doing nothing but training you and making you feel some type of way. And lots of people like that I've cut off, in a sense of I don't have that relationship with them anymore, but they're still there. I see them every now and then. Nothing to say, just love. I hope everything's well for them. I don't hate on them, not a single piece of hate. It's just like, hey, some people are just in your life to teach you or to show some aspect of who you are. And I'm so glad that I have this. I have the friends, I have the relationships I've had, throughout that. Ones were very clear that it's not gonna work. Others were a bit uneasy, and I think sometimes we do force things, especially when the positive things are really clear, but the negative pretty much outweighs the positive, and we still think it's possible to make it work, just to get to the end to realize actually it's not gonna work. But I don't take that for granted anymore. I actually appreciate that, and I see this as a lesson, and every time I go through that, I do my best to learn from all of this. And that's how it should be, because that's how you learn things anyways. And so yeah, having done this and having gone through that, my thing to say to you guys is different seasons for different reasons, and do not hate on people, do not hate on anybody or any of your friends. I used to have a lot of friends that used to be more about clubbing, smoking, drinking, all of that stuff, which is, I think it was okay at that stage in my life, at that season, as you say. But as I progress in my life, I start realizing some of this stuff is not for me to do now. I'm getting old, I can't be doing this nonsense over and over again. And then I start moving away from that. Guess what the man then will tell you? Oh, you tosh now, you don't want to chat to us no more. And I'm like, bro, listen, like life is still moving forward, you can't just be doing the same nonsense I was doing when I was 18, 20. I can't be doing the same thing. Shit, I'm getting old. I need to be doing more because I feel like it anyways. Not because no one is forcing me. It's more like it's my time to move on and do something else. So I'm just happy with that. And that's when you start cutting people off. No regrets. It's just, hey, it's just like, you're available to go out clubbing. I'm not really. I'm good now. You man go do your thing. I'm more focused on this other aspect of life now. And that's it for that season. We're doing, and some people, of course, they also progress slightly the same as you, and I have some friends that we're not necessarily in the same path, but some of the values like going clubbing every time and doing this nonsense here and there, we have stopped and we're more focused on doing other things. And I do appreciate that. Where some other friends, they're just still in the same place 10 years later, they're still doing the same thing. And I'm like, yup, I'm sorry, bro. We're no longer 18. We need to move forward. We need to do things that will benefit us in the future. So Yeah, that's my lesson for you really today. Just think about that it's different season for different reason, and everyone is different, and that helps us a lot, to be fair. But different season, different reasons. Just remember that. Always take that lesson. Understand that some people are just there for a season, temporary. Do not hate on that. Do not be upset that you thought you were going to be with this person forever, and turns out it was just a quick lesson. It was just they were just coming. They were just stopping by. But the most important thing is, I hope you've learned something from that. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you to it, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Alright, bye, ciao.